I've learned a lot of things remain the same, but they are changing, just very slowly. There are people who are beginning to know the truth about Canada's history. I'm still amazed when I do meet people who are brand new to the history of Indigenous people. I often try to put myself in someone else's mocks before I make any judgment. If the roles were reversed, that is, if I was non Indigenous, I wonder how informed I would be. I've also learned that while I do not know my language yet, I can still practice being thankful every day. Tom Porter says that before our feet even hit the floor, we are supposed to thank Shungwat Dioso for the day and everything we have. I had to go back and look at my video from the introduction and I almost fell off my chair. Wow, I was pretty sick. I looked and sounded absolutely terrible. I had to really listen hard for my goals. My goal was to learn more, and I absolutely did that. I definitely learned more about myself. And I know for sure that I don't and I can't take the frustration that came with a lack of progress towards self-government and Aboriginal control of education back to work with me. You have all heard me say it a few times that I'm going to learn my language. I applied for education leave again for next year, this time to be completely immersed in an adult immersion program here on my reserve. There's no guarantee that I'll be granted education leave again, and probably the odds are stacked against me. And more than likely, it's more highly unlikely that I'll be granted education leave 2 years in a row. What is for sure is I will continue to apply for ed leave until they tell me yes. The Truth and Reconciliation Report is a new old voice for Indigenous people. It is a powerful voice that has evidence that the westernized world seems to value so much to back it up. In terms of education, I wonder if we'll ever get all parties to agree. It is a journey, a battle, all of that. I wanted to speak about the Truth and Reconciliation's calls to action regarding kids in care, annual reports on kids in care, and that whole section, actually. My husband works for My Reserve's Child Protection Agency, and they're called Ogwa Denidao. It means taking care of our own. This agency is at an arm's length of council, which means the money flows through council and then goes to the agency. The agency makes up their own kind of rules and policies. Ogwa Denidao has been accredited since April 2018, so their 1-year anniversary is coming up. I think actually, I can't remember if it was the 1st or the 20th that they began taking cases. My husband has been working for them since its inception. Ogwa Denidao is the result of the community voice being heard. It was an overwhelming voice to have the Children's Aid Society removed from Six Nations. The result was an agency that was created by design for our people, by our people. Of course, when the workers knock on people's door, they still don't like them. For some reason, people seem to think that Ogwa Denidao takes kids away from their parents for absolutely no reason at all. And I know for a fact they don't take kids for no reason. It breaks my heart to hear the stories about kids in care. There are still way too many kids in care and no homes on the reserve to put them, and not enough child protection workers. It really is sad. But I guess there has been some progress towards implementing the calls to action in the Truth and Reconciliation. I know that Jordan's principle has been implemented at my school. There are a few students who have benefited from this, but I feel like the report, while it's very detailed and no doubt important, I just feel like it's another Indian control of Indian education paper. I wonder if 47 years, another cohort of students will be reading about the report that was created and we're still trying to implement some sort of these recommendations. Am I the only one who thinks like this? Is it wrong for me to think like this? It's hard to not get discouraged, but I have to remember all those kids who endured residential schools, and one of them was my grandma. She did not go through all that hell only to be forgotten. We are a resilient people, and we are not going anywhere. Nyawa for listening. Again.